We've recently gotten an update surrounding the Activision Blizzard acquisition from Microsoft, and I gotta say, it's sounding like it's starting to hit some rough waters. Over this past weekend, a NYTimes article came out stating that Microsoft's legal team expects the antitrust authority in Britain to oppose the transaction, but they also believe that the European Commission is open to potential remedies, according to 4 people briefed on the matter who were not authorized to speak publicly to the New York Times. The article itself is starting to be picked up by a lot of gaming press this Monday, but I need to make it clear, none of this means that the deal has been blocked. There's a lot of people online taking the legal team's expectations as a fact, but it hasn't actually happened yet. In fact, just a few sentences right after that statement, Microsoft has also said that they believe that they have a strong case in Britain and it has not been predetermined nor been advised by its lawyers that the merger will be blocked. At the very most, what you should be taking from this article is that things aren't going swimmingly for Microsoft, but that they still believe they can get the merger done. That said, that is what you would expect them to say. Obviously, they're not going to come out and outright say that they're giving up on the acquisition because that wouldn't make sense to do. It is also worth pointing out that after this report, Activision stock fell 3.2%. This seems to indicate that there is some wariness going around between whether or not people believe this deal will pass. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Activision is going to end up being bought by Microsoft, or do you think concessions are going to have to be made, or do you think they're going to be blocked outright? No matter which way you lean though, it shouldn't be too much longer before we find out what's really going on with the CMA. That's because they're expected to issue the provisional decision on the matter this week. Additionally, it was just announced today that Bobby Kotick will appear on CNBC tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time, but we really don't know what he's there to share. It could be to just celebrate and talk about the company's financials because they were pretty good this past quarter, but the timing of the interview seems pretty suspect to the CMA's provisional findings. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is why I'm focusing so much on the CMA. And that's because they seem to be the hardest to really oppose if they decide to do something. With the FTC blocking the deal, Microsoft can go to court and fight back, and it seems like they would most likely win based on previous instances of this happening. The EC, on the other hand, typically likes to deal remedies. What they are, we don't know yet, but it seems like Microsoft would be willing to make some concessions to make the deal go through. The CMA, from what I understand, is just very hard to oppose if they decide on something. There's very little ways for you to challenge it, and ultimately, they'd be fighting a battle on 2 fronts between the FTC and the CMA. Now, personal thoughts and opinions time, I'm not exactly sure where I stand on this deal and whether or not I want it to go through or not. On one hand, it would be pretty dope to be able to play every single Activision Blizzard game under the sun day 1 through Game Pass. And as a cloud gamer, it would be awesome to be able to play all those games in the cloud via Xbox Cloud Gaming. Yet at the very same time, I gotta say I would be extremely disappointed for those games to be locked behind just one service. And that's for a variety of reasons. Xbox Cloud Gaming works better for some and not so good for others. That same can apply to pretty much every other cloud gaming service out there, and I think that games should be as accessible as possible via the cloud wherever you are. And as of right now, there are no Xbox Game Studio titles that are available to stream via other cloud gaming services other than Microsoft's very own. And while Activision Blizzard doesn't seem all that friendly with cloud gaming platforms themselves, I think it's worth pointing out that their titles are still on Boosteroid, the very same service that Microsoft titles used to be on until they were pulled away by Microsoft themselves, something I would expect to happen to Activision Blizzard titles on the service if the deal goes through. If you ask me, when it comes to cloud gaming specifically, which is what this channel focuses on, it's a bit of a win-loss situation. There's no clear win-win. That is, unless remedies or concessions come into play, which I really hope they do. Those are my thoughts though, let me know yours down below. I'll be sure to update you all with whatever the CMA comes out with this week, so stay tuned to the channel to not miss out. And if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, thank you for watching, I hope you have a great day. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.